Today we're going to talk a little bit about a term that's being used very widely, especially in the past couple of years. Calling a white woman a Karen. It's kind of gone across the lines these days because now almost anybody's being called one for different reasons. It's been called sexist, misogynistic, many different things to do this, and basically the term comes from a white woman using her privilege of informing on another person, and now it's also become a racist type of comment because it originated pretty much from a 2020 incident by a lady called Amy Cooper, who was in Central Park walking her dog when she came across a gentleman, an African-American gentleman, bird watching, and her dog was off leash. And in that, he said, "Could you please leash your dog?" She said, "No, I'm not going to," in an area where they should have been leashed to protect the wildlife. And apparently, he tried to beckon the dog with a treat, and then she started going off, you know, towards him, and so then he started videoing her. So she called the police 911, saying that he was threatening her and her dog. She was later charged with filing a false police report. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because there are Karens, or there are people there. What is the term Karen? How do you look at the term Karen? Because there are various people. I can give you one incident of a Karen that I came across just recently in my children's school. And that was when I was going to pick up my son. I just dropped off my daughter in in a driveway. I was sitting just in front of somebody's driveway, and I dropped her off so she could go and pick him up at the gate, which is about another 20 feet, 30 feet up. And I see her look back, and I'm not paying attention because I'm on the phone with one of my instructors talking to him. And all of a sudden, I see this middle-aged lady, little disheveled, come up to the window and start pointing and kind of talking very. Obviously, she was irate about something. And I wound down the window and she said, "You can't stay here. You're going to get out of here right now." And I said, "Excuse me, sorry, but you're not allowed to be here. Get out of here right now. Get out of here." And I said, "Excuse me, could you please just talk to me a little bit with some kindness? I mean, you don't have to be rude about anything." And she went, "You're here illegally. I'm going to call the police." I said, "All right, fine, call them." She said, "Well, I'm going to call the police. This is illegal. You're blocking a driveway." I said, "Well, actually, technically, I'm not blocking the driveway because blocking means I'm stopping somebody from entering or leaving. At the moment, there is no car leaving. There is no car entering. So therefore, I'm not blocking the driveway and I'm not parked here. But this is illegal. I'm going to call." So finally, I just went, "You know what? This is too much." And I just drove away. But that was a Karen. That to me was a Karen. The male equivalent is a Ken who complains about totally nothing. And so it's not just about people and white people and black people. It's just people in general. I had another incident in Florida, in Polk County, Florida, which was a disgusting incident. My fault. I did a U-turn on a legal U-turn on a highway where there were other cars in front of me parking to U-turn the other way. I was trying to see if there was any cars behind. As I came out, there was a truck in the near SUV in the near side lane, or the far side lane, closest to the central divide. And I sped up as fast as I could, and obviously it slowed the other car down. I pulled over to go into into an area I thought was the address I was going. And as I passed, I see the truck go past me, and a white lady. Well, actually, I wouldn't call her that. She was hanging out of the window, giving me two fingers and shouting obscenities of one thing or another. And I was like, whatever. And as luck would have it, I actually had to turn the car around and come out of that driveway and then go back to the next driveway to turn it around, which happened to be a shopping mall. Well, this car happened to be in front of me. She was now leaning out the window, mouthing something. I don't know what it was, but and of course the fingers were up in the air. And she was saying, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do?" I think that was the only thing I could actually know. And I said nothing. I didn't. And finally they parked and I went past them. I kind of stopped the car, looked at them, and she jumps out the car and starts running up to my car going, "Ah, ah, ah," and calls every single name you can imagine, foul-mouthed, low-life talk, which was totally. And I was like, she ran off, and her friend came over and said, You should, I said, look, I'm really sorry. I said, I apologize for not doing that, but there was no reason for that type of behavior. Well, she's got, I said, look, listen, I have apologized. I did not see you coming. I sped over, turned to the side, and yet, she's hanging out the window, giving me the finger, and then calling me, and I'm not going to mention the names here. So I ended up sort of sitting there going, and she said, well, but she was fearful for her life. And I thought, well, sometimes there's no getting around some people. So what's your story of a Karen, or what's your story of an incident that was totally unjustifiable? Obviously, people have bad days, but this was a bit much. And so I think Karens have been taken to the nth degree, and I think this is something that needs to be discussed.